Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time I guess we didn't actually recruit anyone because the character was sadly erased from history by Mary Sue. This time, now, I promised that I'd be doing one last side quest before moving on with the main story. Now, I had intended for this side quest to be this one. This is Pan's Child's Paralogue. And then I tried practicing it. Let's just say, holy crap, this chapter is a lot harder than I remember it being, and there is no way that I'm taking it on at this point in the game. So, slight change of plans. What we'll actually be doing is heading here this time. Whose child paralogue is this? Well, you'll find out in a bit, but I may actually have to save this merchant to get a little bit of experience though. Just because I might want a little more levels before I actually go into that paralogue. But first, we have some supports that I deliberately held off on last chapter. Should I do the... Yeah, I'll do Tiki and Lucina C, because technically they unlocked it the chapter before last.
Yes. Thank you.
No, wait.
So this is pretty standard at the moment.
Well...
Here's where things get kind of interesting for this support. Well, she does look a lot like him. And this is why I wanted to support these two together, because Tiki, of course, if you know from the previous games, she actually knew Marth while he was alive 2,000 years ago.
Listen.
Weirdly enough, Lucina doesn't seem to have done her research before impersonating him, which is... You'd think she would.
Yes.
But yeah, history does get kind of distorted after 2,000 years.
I see.
Unfortunately,
You have my gratitude.
we'll have to wait until the higher levels of the support in order to find out more, so I'm going to grind more supports on them. We also have Lucina's A with Crom, so might as well go for that then.
Now.
Listen.
What?
No.
That is a fair question. They haven't really brought up this issue before with any of the children.
Good.
Yes.
So, we don't exactly know here how the time travel aspects are going to work, whether Lucina changing the past is going to completely erase her future from existence, or whether Lucina could go back, but it'd be an alternate timeline, and thus everything would still be destroyed, and so why would she go back?
What?
But don't you see? Huh?
Listen to me.
No. What?
Thank you.
Father.
I couldn't say anything there because I was dying of feels. Yeah, I think my heart just stopped. Anyway, let's get some more. Well, this is a more comedic parent-child support. Let's do this one.
Well...
Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Staff of Deep Hurting is probably my favourite one of these. Yeah, give that name to a staff in Radiant Dawn. It might do more than 1 damage. Sometimes.
Ha!
26, that's awesome.
Hmm?
What?
Let's go. Behold!
Hey!
And sudden mood change.
Hey, thanks! Right.
No.
Huh?
Oh, the irony. But yeah, that shows that Lissa is... well, she's interesting as a parent. And of course, these other supports here, I'll just do them off-screen because they're between characters who aren't supposed to exist here. So, I'm gonna briefly take care of this skirmish. Also, Laurent is almost level 20, and he has a Master Seal in his inventory for the occasion, so he'll probably be promoting afterwards. So, I'll see you after this skirmish. So yeah, did another skirmish, because this one kinda has all promoted enemies with forged killer weapons, so, no thanks. But not only did Laurent reach level 20, he did unlock another support with Muriel, so maybe I should view that one now. Reminds me of the science experiments I used to do back at school.
Intriguing.
The one I remember the most is one where they pumped a bunch of gas into like a big can, and then lit it on fire, and basically the lid just exploded up into the air with an enormous burst of fire. That looked kind of cool, though didn't seem very safe.
Permit me to clarify.
Huh.
Excuse me.
Well, blue flames are hotter. Yeah, that is kind of the thing. Then again, I guess in Fire Emblem Land they might not have discovered that yet.
Fascinating.
Maybe.
What?
No.
Oh, that's nice.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So they're finally having actual parent-child conversations now. And speaking of the child, it's time to promote him now. Now, usually I would have Laurent go Sage, because generally he tends to have higher magic, and his mother does have one of the best magic stats in the game. However, considering that in this playthrough his father was a war monk, which can do decent damage with physical weapons, and I actually intend on making another one of the children my primary, Sage, I actually might want to have him go Dark Knight. Normally, I don't think it suits his stats as well as Sage does, but in this case, I plan on making someone else a Sage, so Dark Knight time. And we have yet another case of the hat clipping through the collar. And he becomes a lot more durable. And he can actually hit decently okay-ish with swords right off the bat, so might as well give him one. Yeah, I usually prefer him as a Sage, but in this case, I prefer someone else as a Sage more, and that someone else, we're actually about to meet them. But first, some skill sorting. Now, this is going to spoil it already, but the child in question is the child of Maribelle. Now, they are in fact male, and that's important because Maribelle probably has some of the easiest access to female exclusive skills out of the first generation characters, because Troubadour and Valkyrie are both female exclusive, so all three of these skills, if I pass them down to her son, there will be no other way he can get these, so these are, yeah, giving him an extra skill that he'll never be able to have normally, so that's very useful. I got her to level 5 so that she learned Rally Resistance from the Valkyrie class, which is, yeah, there are actually 2 female exclusive rally skills. This is one of them. But there's also the hilarity factor of this skill. Yes, you can pass this down to male children, and yes, it still gives bonuses to male allies within 3 spaces. Would have been funny if Libra had access to this skill, but sadly no. The weird thing is that I was originally going to do this for hilarity value, and you'll see just how hilarious it is that this child of all people gets this skill because, well, you'll see what they look like in a bit. But honestly, I actually feel like this might be a more useful skill for gameplay than Rally Resistance, because I'm not actually going to be using this guy as a rally bot, really, so I might actually switch Demoiselle to the bottom slot. As for Ricken, well, I intend for the child to learn both of the mage skills naturally, and so really Slow Burn is the only one I can actually pass down. It's not the best, but at least it's something. Normally I'd wait for a better skill to pass down, but speaking of which, now normally with Maribelle, she has access to Gale Force from the Pegasus Knight branch. Normally, you would want to grind her in Pegasus Knight until she learns Gale Force before recruiting this child. I'm just not doing that because I don't like the parents getting too over-leveled, but if you want the more optimal skills in the children, you definitely want to make sure that you pass down Gale Force, because this is one of those children who, again, won't have access to Gale Force without passing it down from the mother, so that's important. In my first playthrough, he did actually get Gale Force, so just pointing that out. I am intentionally kind of avoiding it, but not because I think that Gale Force is too overpowered, even though it sort of is sometimes, but because actually grinding the parents in the Pegasus Knight class to get that skill, it's gonna make their stats ludicrously high for this point in the game, and I really don't want that. So, time to enter the Paralogue. Noble Lineage. It actually sounds similar to the title of Owain's Paralogue, and ironically enough, the character that we're about to meet can actually be descended from Crom. This is one of Crom's potential children as well, and the guy we're seeing here is not him. Well, obviously. He's obviously not Crom's son.
Thunderation!
Hey, another Thunderation guy! What's the count now? Is it... It's at least... It's no more than 5. And we have your typical Rage Against the Heavens guy. Oh no, not Thunderation, old man! You stole my line, whoever you are.
Hey!
Oh no, more villagers. I was glad to see them gone, but sadly, they are back. No, that's bad. Very, very bad. Fighting as best as you're able means doing, like, no damage to the enemy and then getting brutally slaughtered. I'm worried for this guy's safety. When the villagers are saying, oh, you stay in the rear, we'll protect you, that's not a good sign. If only you could. I might be able to grab that wish, Brady.
Wretched beast.
And Maribelle actually comments here. That's probably one of the only indicators that this is in fact her child Paralogue, because... yeah, this guy right here. As strange as it seems, he is in fact Maribelle's son. You wouldn't expect Maribelle's son to look like that, but there we go. Yeah, he is in fact Maribelle's son. He starts out as a priest though, meaning that he can't fight, which is a problem, but we can actually change that. Now, yep, I've given him Demoiselle, which means that he is actually going to be boosting the evasion rate of the villagers while he's standing next to them, while he's standing near them. Speaking of which, we have villagers. They're level 15, and look at those stats. Also, they have no weapons at all, so, I don't know why they said we'll fight and hold them off while you go in the rear, because they're no better at fighting than he is. They have no weapons. And at this point in the game, considering that we're up against level 5 promoted enemies, if any of them so much as touches one of these villagers, they're basically dead instantly. There is absolutely no way that the villager will ever avoid dying. So, you want to make sure you form up a good defensive line here. So, yep, we've kind of got another semi-defense chapter here. It is a defeat commander mission, so you could end this chapter quickly by rushing to the boss and taking him down. By the way, this boss guy is actually a hero, interestingly enough, and has the soul skill. But he's not our main concern right now. Our main concern is... Whoa, big lens flare. Our main concern is these snipers with forged longbows. They are by far the worst thing on this map because they can very easily snipe those villagers from across your defense lines. So when you see them, you'll want to send units out to rush and kill them before they get to the villagers. So, who we're going to use here? There actually aren't any magic-using enemies, which is interesting. But, you know what, I've used Muriel and Libra a lot, so let's get rid of them. It looks like once we've broken through the initial rush, having some cavalry to charge out and maybe pick off the stragglers will be quite effective, and I haven't really leveled up Starl and Sully that much lately, so I'm going to bring Starl, Sully, and Stully Incarnate. Now, I'm also obviously going to bring Brady's parents, because why wouldn't I? Lucina's a bit too strong for this point, so I might remove her. I actually need to grind up Crom supports with Gary Stu, sadly, so I'm going to have to maybe bring him. I want Donald and Noe because they're great on defense. And speaking of being great on defense, yeah, let's bring Kellum and Tharia over. Though, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't think we really need Olivia here. This is a defense chapter, we're not going to really need to be moving quickly. And we have 2 more unit slots there. Well, in the defensive chapter, Shursh is good with her, well, defense, and Virion is good for sniping enemies with ranged attacks, so let's bring them. Now, positioning. There's a gap too wide over there, but the bottom one is the side that you want to focus on, because there's 3 gaps here, so you're going to need quite a few characters to plug those holes. In my case, I kind of want Starl to try and plug this one, along with Sully and Kjell, or Shell, however you pronounce it, on this side. Rickhead might go on this side too. Donald and Noe go there. And Crom and Gary Stu will also attempt to block off. The annoying thing is I can't actually move Crom's positioning around, but I can move Gary Stu over there so that I can get him, have Crom pair up and get into a better position from there. With that, I think we're just about ready. I'll just check if my inventory is in order. No need for that. Beast Killer might be kind of useful here. No need for that either. Oh yes, okay, something that I do actually need to do in this chapter. I actually want to give Maribelle a second seal. I also... Well, I think I still have a... Let me just check. In the convoy, do I have a standard Thunder Tome? Yes, there is a lonely old Thunder Tome in the convoy. That I might be needing shortly. So, let's begin. Oh, do help us! We're too dumb to protect ourselves from these stupid bandits because our stats are so low. You said it, Maribelle.
What?
They have to kind of spell it out that Brady's her son, because otherwise it really wouldn't be that obvious. But anyway, precautionary save as always. I didn't think it was possible, but I hate villagers even more now than I used to. I didn't think it could be possible. Ugh, these villagers have caused me so much grief. I've had to restart this chapter more times than I can count. It's not meant to be that hard. I've had to put Olivia in because I actually need her for a few of my strategies and backup strategies to actually work. Mostly, I kind of need to make sure that all 4 of the longbow snipers die as fast as possible, because if any of them are still alive, then... Okay, that's not one of them. If any of the longbow snipers are still alive, yeah, the villagers are in major danger, and it's at times like these where I just wish you could rescue NPCs in this game. Rescuing would just make this so much easier, but sadly, no, you can't. For now, though, I might as well... let's just see. Yeah, might as well recruit Brady now. Well, he pretty much has figured it out right away.
What?
She hasn't, though. If only she knew who she was talking to. Notice the hair color? Isn't it familiar to you? Again, if only she knew. But at least he's being nice about it. Now, what I actually have to do here is, I'm gonna go and convoy a rescue staff, because... Oh, these stupid NPCs. I need it. I really need it here. So, I'm gonna go convoy the full-use rescue staff, trade it for one of these med staffs that she has, and rescue... I think this villager should be fine to rescue. Because otherwise, there's gonna be problems. Now, normally what I do here is I start choke pointing all of these areas, but something that I have realized in my many practice attempts of this chapter, it's actually not necessary to choke every point right from the beginning, because, yeah, the low area here, the enemies here can't actually reach the villages on the first turn. So... I can actually safely do this, and now what this hopefully does is it lets me thin out the numbers of these enemies, because all of them are going to go, I still wish that Vengeance wouldn't activate if you're at full health. And yeah, you can see proof there that mastery skills can in fact miss, so... yeah, just be wary of that. So, my aim here is to have most of these enemies go for her and get killed by ruin crits. Especially the archers. Snipers, whatever. Now next, I'm gonna have Sher stay where she is, but equip Orson's hatchet because that'll let her counterattack the Tomahawk guy. Again, my goal here is, notice how none of the bottom villagers are actually in range, despite the fact that I have no one guarding this point. That's why I can afford to do that. Now, the rescue staff on this guy also means that I can afford to send people in here without needing to guard this area. But what I'm actually going to do is, I'm actually going to send Noe up here. This may seem weird to you now, but, make sure to equip Donnie's better weapon. But actually going here thins out a lot of the enemies. I don't want to lure in the boss and his guys, though, before I'm ready. Next, this point here, we actually really do need to block this off. And with this, the thing is, these enemies do no damage to Shell already, so, she doesn't actually need a pair up here. It's really Stahl and Sully who actually need the pair up the most. I'm gonna equip the Beast Killer on Sully just to help, hopefully take out that Paladin more quickly. Now you'll see that it looks like, this villager can get hit, but that's going to change because I'm going to move her over here. Now, I might also need a few characters to be free to swing around here if the need arises. This is quite a complicated strategy that I'm using just for early on, and I will need to change it on the fly depending on what the enemies do here exactly. Because I mainly want to kill the longbow guys. Once they're gone, this chapter's actually not that bad, but until then, it's definitely really painful. Now I'm going to actually have Rickan ride all the way out into the middle of this forest here, equip Bolganone, and yeah, I have better magic on his waifu there, so hopefully Jewel Strike should be enough to take out some of the enemies there. Now, The lock-in all ranges button is really useful in this chapter because you can tell if any of the villagers are in range of an enemy. If even one of them is in range of an enemy at the time you end your turn, you're probably going to have to restart if you want to get everything in this chapter because, yeah. There's very little chance that you'll actually really be able to survive, because if any of them so much as gets attacked by any enemy, they're pretty much dead. Now, I'm also going to have Crom grab a silver sword from the convoy, because that's going to be useful a little bit later. Also, for the moment, just in case, I'll have Brady Convoy an arm scroll and a thunder tome. I'll talk about why later, but for now, it's really not the time. My aim here is to hopefully take out as many of these archers as I can, and for that I'll need criticals and dual strikes.
You did it.
Great shot there, Maribelle. Something that I'll just mention though, I only realized just recently that it would actually be pretty cool if, like Fates, the bottom screen actually showed the accuracy of dual strikes. As in, like, your partner's damage and accuracy. Fates changed that so that it displays those. Once again, though, I am boycotting Fates spoilers. That was just something that I knew from all of the trailers. Ricken's gonna get a little over-leveled here, but I don't really care. Around 8 promoted is what we need to be for the next main story chapter, so I'm kind of fine with that. With Maribelle's pair-up bonus, Ricken doesn't get doubled here, which is good.
Wretched beast.
Okay, that's useful. Oh, really? Yeah, probably should have traded Lyssa's Elfire over to her now that I think about it. Thankfully, Tharia's Ruin is excellent at killing these snipers who don't like darkness. And anything that kills snipers quickly is a plus in my book, definitely. I want to get rid of as many of these snipers as I can, because they are profoundly irritating. I'm going to need possibly a lucky crit for this. Come on, Vengeance crit! No. I should have equipped the Silver Lance on Kellum, actually. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to do for you. Wait, 100% hit rate on a weapon triangle
If you don't mind.
and 8% critical, but on a weapon triangle disadvantage against a Swordmaster, you have 100% crit rate. That's actually really surprising. I mean, hit rate. That's really surprising.
Who could stop us?
Speaking of hit rate, though, this guy very clearly has Axe Breaker. Viren's Dual Strike saved me there.
Thank you.
That could have ended badly if he didn't Dual Strike. Of course it would break before the guy with the Tomahawk. Depending on how much Virion Dual Strikes here, that axe tends to break sooner or later depending on, yeah. So a lot of factors in this chapter that I have to plan for.
My turn.
Completely pointless Vengeance and critical. And some of the higher level DLC chapters, you end up seeing
I'm right here.
some pretty insane enemies with Vengeance.
You're going down.
And Dual Strike, good, very good.
I'm in your debt.
I am too, because I need as many enemies gone here as possible, because Shell may need to actually swing around back to another part of the map. In fact, might have to swing around the bottom part and then have Crom go up to this end. Mostly because Starl and Sully can't actually double the longbow sniper that's going to be incoming soon. And I really need someone who can, because, yeah, the longbow snipers need to die. I hate them so much, there are no words to describe how much I hate them.
And one for me.
Thanks.
And, oh hey, double level up, excellent. Sully's shield was also clipping through her face. Gaining speed is good, because for some reason she hasn't gained speed all that much lately. Defender is a pretty decent skill. It gives +1 to all stats while you're paired up, which should be most of the time in this game. And Star learns Luna. an activation chance skill that, when it goes off, it calculates your damage at half the enemy's defense. It's one of the hits of Crom's Ether skill, basically. The second hit, more specifically. And I need Donnie Jewel Strikes here. I really need Donnie Jewel Strikes here, because... And I only needed one use on that Dragonstone, and this is... the longbow, guys. I hate them so much. They have forged longbows on hard or above as well.
That was close.
So if they get to any of these villages, the villagers are basically dead. Okay, that's probably not going to kill. No, definitely not. Paladins have relatively decent resistance, so they're one of the few physical classes that actually does have kind of decent resistance, so... No critical, that's unlucky. Now, that Paladin usually does survive, and that's bad, because generally he can swing around to attack the villagers now. So now I do need to plug the lower choke point. Also, I need a Jewel Strike here. There we go.
Sorry.
Sometimes Crab Lancers don't one-shot things. Yeah, a lot of enemy action this enemy phase. It's kind of the thing in most defense chapters. Usually the enemy phase is where most of the action takes place. Okay, now the enemies who are in range of no one are moving, including those damn longbow guys. I hate them so much. And that Paladin right there, yeah. He's the reason why I need to swing back and block that choke point right now. And that's why I may need to actually have Shell swing over that end, because, yeah. Although, I really want to kill that guy, but I'll have to do that a bit later. Now, that second longbow guy is also a pain. So yeah, paying attention to where all of the longbow guys are. Thankfully, that guy can't attack any of the villagers now, and he's quite far away from us, so... I'm not too worried about him just yet. You have to be very careful here, because if you make one wrong move in this chapter, yeah, bad things can happen. So, firstly, yeah, that Paladin and that Swordmaster can't reach a villager, and because of that, I'm going to need to swing around back and block off this point now. Question is, who do I do that with? Just wondering if I put someone there, if that Paladin will even be able to reach the villager or not. Because if not, that's one more character who I'm free to move, well, freely. So firstly, let's take you out. Oh, I had to attempt this chapter so many times that even this music was just really starting to grate on me. Also, Noe is kind of getting a bit over-leveled at this point, but she needs to catch up to Tiki. Now with that... Okay, this Paladin can't reach. That guy can't reach. But apparently that villager is still in range of an enemy. Why is that? Oh wait, obviously, this Paladin right here. So... Gonna need to definitely swing back around and block him off from doing anything. The real question is who should... I mean, then again, this guy's going to be relatively close to us anyway. Just wondering if Kellen will be able to do it with his Crab Lance. And Crab Lance time. Yeah, these Paladins have good enough defenses to not get one-shotted by Crab Lancers.
Wow.
That shows just how tough the enemies tend to be in the child Paralogues. Now with that, of course, due to the presence of a second Paladin, there are still enemies in range of some of the villagers, but this guy is no longer in range anymore, which is good. And here's where things get problematic, because I'm actually going to have Crom go here and block this point. Though Crom should be fine. But yeah, due to the presence of that second Paladin, I'm gonna have to swing Shell around here. That's why mounted units can be quite good in this chapter. With that, this villager is safe, but for some reason that... Oh, well, obviously that one can still get attacked because enemies can barge in here. And for that reason, I'm going to have Crom go here in preparation for this... Oh, I hate this guy so much. See, if it wasn't too much of a risk, I'd actually have Rickett and Maribelle go and attempt to kill that guy. But for now, not really necessary. So yes, going to have Crom go here. At times like these where Crom being able to use javelins would be really useful. But I don't think equipping a lance on him is not a good idea because there's quite a few axe heroes around here, so sword is a better choice. Now with that, all of the villagers are safe. Normally it would seem like this is more trouble than it's worth, but there is a very, very, very good reward for saving all of the villagers in this chapter, which is why I want to show it. Like, the reward is definitely worth it.
You are so dead.
And here's Luna.
That was intense.
It's not particularly effective against Swordmasters because their defense is already pretty low anyway, but when it activates against things like Generals, you really notice the difference. And now, I'm going to do something that seems kind of stupid, but Ainz's bow is actually really awesome. It's basically a silver bow with much better hit rate and critical rate, so, like, ridiculous hit rate. So, Ainz's bow is pretty awesome, but do I need to use it now? Or I could, in fact, just have him use a sword here for better evasion. That would mean that although that guy has a silver lance though, so... Definitely want Virion to get some of the action here though. Okay, let's just go for a crit here. And no crit with a 46%. That's probably still fine. Actually... You know what, I could... No, wait, I could not use Olivia, because these walls, they're a lot less thick than they look. This sniper would be able to shoot Olivia from over the wall if she went there, and at Olivia's current state, that would be instant death, so not going to risk that, obviously. And sadly, Brady can't really heal anyone, although... I could have them retreat, have Brady heal, then use Olivia's dance to get them out of the way, but, that's actually possible. Honestly, that actually seems like not a bad idea. Though I'm remembering that they need to go back to that spot, because it seems like being on that spot is what's stopping this paladin from reaching the other villager. Yeah, you have to be very careful about your moves in this chapter. But this should hopefully not backfire too badly.
We've got this.
Thing is, I actually want to avoid Brady healing as much as possible here, because any experience he gets, I guess it will still give weapon experience, but any healing experience that he gets with his stars will actually not count, because I'm going to reset his level very soon. Can I afford to just use Arcwind here? Or even just regular old Elwind? I'm going to equip Arcwind just in case. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, none of them can reach any of the villagers or Brady or Olivia, so... And get rid of the one with the higher movement first.
Stay focused.
We do have to stay focused in this chapter. The next turn is definitely the worst one, because if I don't kill all three of the longbow snipers by next turn, one of the villagers is almost certainly going to die.
They won't hurt you.
But the real difficulty is that I need to kill all three of the longbow guys without breaking my defense line, and that's where things get kind of, well, really tricky.
Stay with me.
And this is probably why I should have equipped a sword from Virion, actually, now that I think about it. Then again, that forces this guy to attack from range, and thus get himself killed by Well, he dies with magnificence, at least. That was one of the first voice clips I ever heard of this game, in English. So yeah, watching the English trailers. And it was funny, the first time I heard that voice clip, also rally skill. Not a particularly useful rally ability, but it's alright.
Come on.
Basically, when I first heard that voice clip, I actually couldn't tell whether Virion's accent was meant to be French or Spanish. It took until the game came out for me to realize what it actually was. Now, the problem here is, I hope none of the enemies end up blocking Crom so we can't reach the longbow guy. Speaking of longbow guys, here's one now. Thankfully, the guy just put himself in range of Donald and Noe, so he shouldn't last too long. Why are wind tomes so pathetic? Yeah, Crom is not doubling these people without a pair-up bonus, which is really annoying, and I should have equipped a better weapon on Star. Definitely should have equipped a better weapon on Star, otherwise those ones would be dead. Fortunately, this guy will hopefully die to a dual strike, and that might give Crom enough space to get into the,
My turn.
there we go, to get to that one archer, but this will mean that I'll have to cycle Shell back around to choke pointing duty over here. Provided that I get rid of as many enemies on this side, I can actually afford to stop choke pointing the bottom.
Was that all?
So, hopefully things work out. Of course, this guy needs to die pretty much immediately. Don't want to jinx it, but he will to a dual strike. And we didn't get one! Of course we didn't.
You can do it.
And yeah, Rickett is getting pretty over-leveled at the moment. Getting strength and speed and skill and luck. Definitely the strength and speed is good. Okay, yeah, here's where we have a bit of a problem. And this is where Olivia might come in handy, because I think I'm going to need her services now. So firstly, Crom absolutely has to take this guy out with a silver sword. But that would expose this area, and then there's a, another sniper over here. Notice that every single one of these villages is now in red range, as in range of the longbow guys that I've locked in. See what I told you when I was saying that without taking out all three this turn, somebody is going to die. Fortunately, I rescued the villager that's here, so I can afford to not take out that guy this turn. But I really, really would like to. Firstly, get rid of you, and I am going to have to choke point this area now because the enemies are now within range. So you go down. And that longbow guy, notice how he is still in range of this guy right here. So, this is where things get really, really, really bad. Neither of you have a ranged weapon. So I could potentially have Olivia dance for them if they don't actually kill this guy. And here's the thing. I need to make sure that that's my only option for Olivia, because I can only have Olivia refresh one person. Also, speaking of which, kind of would have liked for you to die last turn, but so I can pretty much certainly get rid of this sniper now.
I can help.
Yes, critical! Die! 1 down, 3 to go. 2 to go, I mean. Keep thinking there's 4 of them in this chapter. 2 to go. And the first one's going to require... This is where things get a little annoying. So firstly, Crom has to break ranks and do this. The other thing is that Crom is possibly in danger of dying here if I get really, really unlucky. So... Oh, and I really, really should have... that's annoying. Okay, so Chromo has to Silver Sword this guy, and hopefully I get an Ether and heal him. Come on, Ether. There we go. Perfect. That should give him enough HP to survive the turn.
Right.
And I had to have Chrom use a Silver Sword there because the Falchion would not have actually killed there. And yeah, as you can see there, the Silver Sword had 3 uses before. It's only got 2 now, so that confirms that skill activations... Yeah, that basically confirms that skill activations only consume 1 use of your weapon, regardless of how many hits the skill makes you do. And let's get rid of the sword guy, because he poses the biggest threat to Chrom. So yeah, Shell has had to pull double duty on the defense here. If I hadn't promoted her to Great Knight before, I might actually have had some trouble here. Now, the problem with that is this Swordmaster can now kill that guy. Yeah, now here's the part where things get a little tricky. Maybe not exactly, but this guy is safe. I don't actually need to take out that sniper, but I may as well try to take out the sniper because I think he's actually the bigger threat here because of his better accuracy.
You are so dead.
Excellent! Looks like everyone's hating snipers in this chapter.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was very nice. And Starl and Sully are catching up to the rest of us. I haven't been using them a lot lately, so I'm glad they're getting a chance to catch up. And with that, I actually definitely need to take out that guy this turn. I actually have Virion use a sword for it.
Get ready.
Even with a bronze sword, he's doing decent damage.
I am legend.
Then again, that's a Swordmaster, and they tend to have low power anyway. And yeah, as you can see here, this villager is still in range of, yeah. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do this, and Donnie is going to dual strike. That's the best possible outcome here. But if that doesn't happen, then I have a backup plan.
I got your back. I'm with you.
And it happened. And the guy didn't die. Okay, yeah. Now, neither of these two have any ranged weapons. So, I'm perfectly safe having Olivia do this. And with that, this guy goes down. And that would be all 3 of the evil longbow snipers.
No, he wins.
Yes, yes, she does win. And with that, Olivia's not in range. Now, my only worry now is that these two both hit Ricken and kill him. But, fortunately, Ricken's son knows healing.
We've got this.
So now, hopefully, provided that everything goes right,
This one's
unless Virion dies. Okay, good, he won't die. If that guy had hit, wait a minute. I was thinking the sniper from before was still alive. If that sniper hadn't died to Starl's crit, then he probably could have attacked Virion as well. And then that could have got ugly. And of course everyone's going for Ricken.
Come on.
They still think he's the squishy mage that he used to be. How wrong they are. And that leaves just the boss and his henchmen over the top, and they, I believe, yeah, they're going to start moving now. And thankfully, none of those guys have longbows. My only worry now about this chapter is, wait, okay, the first event tile's there. Where's the second event tile? Oh, it's all the way over there. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. So they're only going to attack from this end. They only pose a threat to this choke point here, and that's actually why I rescue starved this villager earlier, because otherwise it would have been hard to protect him from all of these enemies, plus the boss with the tomahawk. The boss is actually quite fast and also fairly powerful, But thankfully, none of his sniper allies have longbows. They do have silver bows, but longbows would be really, really bad. My only worry now is that the boss dies early, which will end the chapter immediately before I'm able to get full experience. But that won't be too big a loss, but it will be kind of annoying. Let's see. Sully's still level 5. And, she's level 4. Basically what I'm doing now is just going to cluster everyone around, the top part. And as you can see, that experience only takes him up to 99, so at least he's guaranteed a level up, provided that he hits something on his next attack. Of course, Olivia needs to get out of the way, obviously. Actually feel like I should use some Stully here, only because Rickon and Maribelle have had enough screen time. I mean, I know this is their child's chapter, but still. Rickon's got a lot of level ups.
Remarkable.
Oh, really? Well, A rank can starve. She can use the Goddess Staff if we needed it. None of you have Worm Slayers, right? Most of these enemies actually double Noe, so... But you're no threat, you're no threat. The only thing who will actually do any damage is the boss, I think, so... And once again, I'm not actually going to have Brady heal anyone because that experience is going to end up wasted. Could I potentially... I'm not sure if this is a good idea because I might not actually be able to get him to take out any of the enemies, but... Might as well do this. Now, normally I don't like reclassing anyone until they've reached, until they've gained every skill out of their base class at least, because that's just how I play. I like keeping the characters in their base classes most of the time. I do make an exception though for Brady if he is Ricken's son, because if he is, he gets one of the best magic modifiers in the game, and because of that, I like to reclass him to mage immediately. So Brady, complaining that you couldn't fight? Well, now's your chance. Also, he would have promoted to Sage anyway from Priest, so... I'm completely fine with doing this, because he's going to end up as a Sage anyway. Also, he's lost his unique palette, but he'll get it back when he promotes to Sage, don't worry. Or at least he should get it back. And he actually has 5 skills now. And so, yeah, this guy is basically doing what you'd expect of him. It'd be really funny if you actually had Frederick critical him, too. Really funny. I actually don't want dual strikes out of Donald here, but he's probably going to do it anyway.
What a team!
Yep, they are pretty much the most amazing team ever. One of them.
No worries.
So, the only real worry of this chapter now is how to get rid of all of these guys before we take out the boss. Of course, if we are trying to get Brady some experience... Yep. Death and death. Gotta watch out for that. Who's gonna give him the best modifiers, though, out of his parents? Though we might actually need... Let's just see. 29. Probably still not gonna be enough. $30. Though that's got a very high chance of a dual strike on top of it. Actually, it would be amazing if Brady managed to take out the boss, but Doing that might take a bit of... if the only one Donald and Noe can take out is this guy, I might as well do it. It's going to take a little bit of an effort to do that, and I have to make sure that Brady hits, because if he misses, he will die. So that might be a bit risky. Hopefully, though, one of his parents might give enough of a pair-up bonus so that he'll always hit, but... So yeah, how much hit does he have? Oh, wow, 51%. That's definitely not doing that, then. And how much hit does he have on the Swordmaster? 61. That's not too bad. I do have a backup plan in the form of Olivia, just in case we don't fully finish off everything here in as much time as we have.
Pay attention.
And... okay, that's good. I might actually be able to get Brady to do some damage. The problem there is I would then have to make use of Olivia in order to make sure the boss still goes down, because if he doesn't, then Brady would die. And we don't want that to happen in his first chapter.
Very kind of you.
Well, with that, I think the boss is the only one left, and Sully doesn't level up. Well, the boss and that guy, but he doesn't really count at this point. Oh, I can still shoot the boss with Virion, though. And I might be able to get Shell in for a spear attack, although the boss does have... the boss has Soul, though, so that's going to be difficult if that does activate. Could do an emergency pair-up on Brady, actually, with... if possible. And, of course, still only have 51% hit rate. This is sort of a bit of a risk. What happens if I... although I might need you to take out the boss, so I'm not actually going to do that. Okay, come on, hit. This is incredibly risky, and it's probably going to fail. No, it didn't. Okay. Well, Brady at least got one enemy, and... oh, not quite enough for an instant level up, but almost there. Okay, so from here... actually... no, that's bad. That wastes his turn. I thought it didn't. If I really wanted to make sure of this guy going down, I could use that. Yeah, you know what? That'll be my last resort. Actually, my last resort option should be using Olivia. Probably have to use the Brave Bow here now that I think about it.
Where to begin? And one from me.
Okay, yeah, boss is definitely gone. By the way, you might be seeing a certain horrifyingly face person there soon. Yeah, then things are going to get even worse for you. Well, speed is what I mostly care about with that. And another Master Seal. And Rickett and Maribelle were the heroes, obviously. So that went okay that time.
Humblest thanks.
No, he doesn't say Thunderation again. So this is why you want to save all of the villagers here. If you do that, then...
no.
certainly wasn't what was easy, though.
Please, I insist.
So for saving everyone, we get Menstaff, Blessed Lance, Medium Bullion, Seraph Robe, and a Fortify Staff. That's definitely
Hey.
worth it. So that's why you want to save all of the villagers if you can. If you save 0 to 4, I think you get less of a reward. I'm not actually sure what the reward is if you save if you save 0 to 4, but you get a bit of a different conversation. If you don't save any of them though, the old Thunderation NPC is actually really cold to you and basically just tells you to get out. So it's worth it to save all of them if you want better dialogue.
What?
Yeah.
Maribelle!
Big mistake.
Well, Maribelle is also doing the same thing that Muriel did. I guess magic users generally are the ones who see the other possible reasons why someone could have the same ring as her.
Can it?
Wretched beast.
It's actually kind of funny. One of Maribelle's random event-tile conversations with other people, specifically the one where they ask what her dream is, she jokes that her dream is to be a big, hairy barbarian, which is really funny if you know that her son basically looks like one. But he is her son, though.
Wow.
And despite his appearance, he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
I love that line. But yeah, you're about to see that he's definitely an interesting character. Wait a second. A guy who looks like a thug, talks like a gangster, acts tough but is actually kind of insecure sometimes, really loves his mother, and has a lot of really girly hobbies that he's embarrassed about. I think I've seen a character like this somewhere before.
You know?
No.
And she is not so above it at all. And that's even funnier if Brady is Crom's son, which can actually happen. In fact, Crom's dialogue with Brady, if he is his father, is actually kind of interesting. It's actually kind of cool. Crom basically Brady is all annoyed at himself for the fact that he can't fight, yet he's the descendant of a hero like Crom. And then Crom says that he's actually proud of him for taking a non-violent path. It's actually kind of interesting. But anyway, with that, we've recruited another one of the future children. And it was a lot more trouble than I expected. But yeah, next time, I'm actually not sure. If we're strong enough, we might take on another Paralogue. If not, maybe we'll continue with the main story. There's a certain child who I want to recruit before we defeat Walhart for the final time, and there's a very good reason for that. I'll either do that after this one or after Chapter 19, so you'll see what happens next time.